Hey, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Brand OTC or Brand Over the Counter, where we answer your branding questions with a faux over the counter product. Now, today's product is called Storyteller 1.0, and it helps you to build a compelling brand narrative. Now, some of the symptoms of a weak brand story include the following: your audience can't explain what you stand for, you struggle to stand out from your competitors, your brand feels transactional instead of personal, you're not sure how to connect emotionally with your market, and maybe people know your product, but they don't know your why. And so, before we get started, my name is Cynthia Akita, and I'm your brand strategist, educator, and designer here at the Design Firmacy, your number one business pharmacy. And today's question is, how do I create a compelling brand story? Well, first, let's define what it even means to have a brand story. So, if you have a brand origin story, it's more so the part of your brand that is personal, that's human, and it's emotional. You create an emotional narrative that really explains how and why your brand came to be. So, how you started, and why your brand even exists today, right? It's not a list of a bunch of dates. It's not this resume of your business. It's not about your milestones or your sales, but it's really the heartbeat of your brand and what keeps your brand going day after day, hour after hour, month after month, year after year. What keeps you guys going? It's truly the heartbeat of your brand. And so you can think about Nike, their campaign is just do it. And it's not just a slogan, it's really rooted in a number of stories from everyday athletes that are pushing past their fears, pushing past their limits. And that's why we wear Nike. It's not, we don't care about the swoosh. I mean, I don't think most people care about the swoosh, right? But it's about what that swoosh represents. It gives you hope that you can actually accomplish whatever it is that you set your mind to, despite the challenges that you face. Their shoes are great, their clothes are great too, but it's really more about the meaning behind the brand. And that's why a brand origin story is just so important. Now, again, let's talk about a couple more reasons why a brand story really matters. The first thing is that it builds trust and relatability. You want to relate with your audience. I mean, I say it all the time. When you're building a brand, you are building an invisible representative of your business. And that representative has to be relatable. I mean, how many times have you gone to, a Sam's Club and one of the cell phone representatives just, you're typically trying to run away from them, but they just come in your face and they're like, well, what's your cell phone bill? Tell me what your cell phone bill is. I promise I could get it lower. And I remember one time I told them what the bill was. I had been a longstanding member or customer of this brand. And so I had a really low price. They were able to give me some really good discounts. And I was like, well, my bill is X, Y, and Z. And the representative was like, okay, well, maybe we can't beat that rate. And so I was able to get away from them, for that moment. But typically you want to be, relatable. And sometimes that can come from like your personality. But in this case, it's really going to come from your story, because your customers are going to buy from you when they feel like you understand them, when they feel like you get them. And that's relatability. Another reason why your brand story matters is because it differentiates you. It sets you apart from your competition, from anybody really, because there are going to be the copycats. People are going to copy your product. They can copy your style, but no one can copy your journey. That is one of the many things that is truly specific to you. Even if someone down the road was unfortunately homeless as a child, their experience is still different from yours, right? And it is different from how that part of you is expressed in your business and in your brand. So it helps you to set yourself apart from your competitors. Now, the next thing is that it creates an emotional investment. And Emotions lead to loyalty. I mean, think about it. The dog commercial where they're singing in the eyes of the angel, right? It really appeals to your emotions. It makes you feel like I need to have that dog's back. Okay. And so emotions lead to a sense of loyalty. It's like you want to defend, you want to protect whoever is behind the story or whatever brand is behind that story because they've tugged at a deep part of you that again, that relatability, you may know what that feels like. You don't want other people to feel that way because you didn't enjoy what it was like when you did feel it. And so, you know, those emotions lead to the loyalty, but then the loyalty leads to sales. That sounds wrong. I'm sorry about that. But you want to buy from people that you trust. You want to buy from people that you feel you can back up and you can defend. And that's just what it is, right? That's just the fact of the matter. And then at the end of the day, your brand story matters because it guides your decisions. So it becomes that guiding principle when it comes to, marketing offers and messaging. And so it literally guides the way, in how you sell, what you sell, and how you express that to other people. So let's talk about some of the ingredients that are required for a compelling brand story. Now, I do want to put in a little bit of a caveat that if you have not already signed up for the What's Your Secret Sauce challenge, I want you to go ahead and do that by visiting brandmysecretsauce.com. Okay, because we're going to go in depth on building your brand story because it is a part of what sets you apart, which is your secret sauce, right, in your business. And so it is a free 3-day challenge, but you can opt in to purchase days 4 and 5. And we will delve even deeper, on those days, but you will get access to the first 3 days for free. And I can't wait to see you guys there. So please sign up for What's Your Secret Sauce Challenge by visiting brandmysecretsauce.com. All right. So these ingredients that we were talking about, the first one is the spark. So the spark is the moment or the thing that pissed you off that forced you to start everything. There's always a catalyst in everything in any change that is made in our lives, there is a catalyst. Somebody struck a match, somebody lit a fire, and it just made you say, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I have to change this. Like whether it was in weight management, whether it was in a living situation, whether it was in your career, maybe you were sick of your boss bullying you week after week, month after month, and you just got to the end of your rope and said, I'm not doing this anymore. That is the spark. The moment, the frustration that started everything. Then you have the struggle. So yes, the emotion forced you to make a choice, right? But then you're going to face some obstacles, along the way. So what was that struggle? What was the obstacle that you faced, that was trying to prevent you from getting to whatever that final destination was supposed to be? Then you have the shift. So what was the turning point that forced you to act despite those obstacles that you were facing? So let's say this is like, excuse me, let's say this was like a weight loss thing. You make up your mind that you're gonna, lose some weight, and then maybe it's the end of the year. So, we have Thanksgiving, we have Friendsgiving, we have holiday parties and cookies and, all those things, right? And so maybe that was the struggle. I couldn't find a way to maintain my diet when holidays and, happy times were going on. So I decided my health was still more important than those things. Okay, just an example. But anyway, the shift is the turning point where you decided to act despite the obstacle. And then you have your solution. So that comes back to your offer. So based on the obstacle that you faced and the turning point, the shift that you made, What was the solution that you came to? And that's where your offer comes in. And you talk about why that offer is different. Like, why is it that that offer worked this time around despite the obstacles that you faced? Then you're going to have your stand. And the stand is the values and the beliefs that fuel your brand. So let's say we're still going with, the weight loss thing. Maybe you came to the realization or the understanding that I can eat what I love during these holidays, but I have to eat them in moderation, right? That is a stand. That's a belief. That's a value. That the value is I can still enjoy these good times, and I can go to Friendsgiving and not watch everyone else eat while I sit there miserably just because I'm trying to lose weight, right? That's the value and the belief that you've taken from that. And then you focus on the vision. So that's the final part of the equation is the vision, which is the mission that you're inviting your audience to join you on. And so again, that the value and the belief that you have fuels that vision. So I believe that everybody can still have fun and enjoy the holidays, whether it's a holiday, a birthday, just a day out with your friends, and still be on track to lose weight. That's the mission, and I'm inviting you to do the same thing in your life. And so again, quickly, it's the spark, then the struggle, the shift, the solution, the stand, and then the vision. Those are the 6 key components of writing a compelling brand origin story. And then on top of that, you want to craft your story with your audience in mind. So yes, it's your story, but it's not just about your journey. Your story is the introduction that you use to invite other people on the same journey that you were able to conquer or still going through for some people. And so it's very important that your journey really connects to someone else's transformation. Yes, you may have had a hard time, going through the holidays and enjoying food while still staying on track with your weight loss goals. But how does that allow them to connect to the story? Well, hey, remove a little bit of the I and insert them into that same scenario so that they could see that the possibility is there for them too, that they can also be successful, that they can also go out and enjoy themselves and not feel like they've gained 11,000 pounds just from having one fun meal, right? And so you definitely want to weave them in, especially if you're doing, something in the sense of fitness coaching. Your story of overcoming those health struggles should lead to their vision of getting stronger and healthier and more confident within their bodies. Now, when you're writing your stories, you want to make sure that it's sticky, and shareable because the best brand stories are the ones that are simple. Nobody wants to, I don't think many people want to watch a 3-hour documentary, but, some people love documentaries, but simplicity is the key. And then you want it to be authentic. People can tell when you're lying. People cannot relate with what's fake. So just be real, right? But then it also has to be repeatable. And that's where simplicity comes in because you want your customers to be able to tell your story for you. You want them to go out and literally spread the gospel of your brand. And so if it's not a story that is simple, relatable, authentic, or repeatable, then it's only going to stay wherever it's posted. It's not going to live beyond that. And a story that's impactful is one that people can tell over and over and over and share with those who need that story in whatever moment they may be in. And so make it sticky and make it shareable. Now, that is all I have for you in this version of Storyteller 1.0, but make sure you go ahead and sign up for the What's Your Secret Sauce Challenge. You will have an amazing time. I am going through the content right now. I'm starting early and I have so much to share with you guys to really help you figure out what makes your brand stand out from the next brand, from your competitors. And so you really want to be a part of this. Invite your business besties, invite anyone who's thinking about starting a business because they definitely want to start with this first. All right, so visit brandmysecretsauce.com and I will see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed this episode and have an amazing day. Bye. Discover what sets your brand apart, then say it with confidence. What's Your Secret Sauce is a free 3-day challenge designed to help entrepreneurs uncover the unique flavor that makes their brand unforgettable. Through guided prompts, live training, and powerful clarity exercises, you'll identify what truly sets you apart and how to communicate it in a way that connects and converts. If you've ever struggled to stand out in a crowded market or explain what makes you different, this challenge will give you the breakthrough you need. You'll walk away with your personalized secret sauce recipe, a clear, compelling blend of your brand's strengths, purpose, and positioning that makes selling feel natural. Join us by visiting brandmysecretsauce.com. You're doing all the things: posting content, updating your website, running ads, tweaking your offers, but still wondering, why isn't this working? Truth is, you might be focusing on areas that look productive, but aren't actually moving the needle. The Brand Vitals Assessment helps you stop guessing and start targeting. It's like a wellness checkup, but for your brand. You'll gain crystal clear insight into the 9 essential areas every brand needs to thrive. No fluff, no filler, just facts about where your brand stands and what needs your focus. Because clarity is the first step to real momentum. And when you know where to focus, you start to see progress, not just activity. Get out of busy work. Get into brand building that actually works. Take the Brand Vitals Assessment now. Have you tapped into your Firmacy benefits? As a beneficiary, you unlock special offers, gifts, and always stay in the loop. Subscribe today to receive your exclusive dose. Visit firmacybenefits.com.